He had the money, he had the looks, he treated her like a queen, but somehow, he still wasn't enough. In the age of hyper-empowerment, modern dating has become something far more complex than love or connection. Today, it's about status, validation, and the constant chase for more. And at the center of this transformation stands the modern woman, confident, independent, and unapologetically ambitious. This is not inherently a bad thing. In fact, it's a sign of progress. Women today have more opportunities than ever before. They're graduating from universities at record rates, dominating corporate spaces, building businesses, and claiming their voices in politics, media, and culture. Decades of struggle have finally yielded tangible power. And with that power comes higher expectations. But somewhere along the way, a dangerous narrative began to form. That simply being a woman is enough. That merely existing with ambition entitles one to the very best. The perfect man, the perfect lifestyle, the fairy tale ending. Many modern women now expect a partner who checks every imaginable box. Tall, attractive, wealthy, emotionally intelligent, well-dressed, well-spoken, funny, sensitive but masculine, loyal but exciting, dominant but nurturing. He must also accept her flaws without question, support her dreams unconditionally, and never dare to ask what she brings to the table. This isn't a generalization of all women, but it is a growing trend, especially visible on social media, dating apps, and popular culture. The messaging is clear. You're the prize, don't settle. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Some women aren't offering what they demand. If you expect a millionaire, are you behaving like a millionaire's wife? If you want loyalty and emotional maturity, are you showing the same in return? We are now living in a time when expectations are skyrocketing, but reciprocity is vanishing. Relationships are no longer built on mutual effort. They've become about leverage. This isn't an attack. It's a mirror. A look at how modern dating has shifted and why imbalance is driving so many apart. What do women want today, and why are more men choosing not to play? I want a man who makes six figures, is over 6 feet tall, emotionally available, travels frequently, owns property, eats clean, goes to therapy, but still knows how to fight for me if needed. Modern women today are not shy about what they want in a man. In fact, many are louder and clearer than ever. Social media, dating apps, and even casual conversations are filled with lists, precise, detailed expectations of what a man must be. He must have his life together. He must be confident, emotionally available, successful, ambitious, but also grounded and humble. He needs to have goals, but also time. He should have money, but not be obsessed with it. He should be strong, but not controlling. Protective, but not possessive. A common theme emerges. He must be everything, not just good, perfect. Height is often mentioned first. Over 6 feet isn't a preference anymore, it's a requirement. Then comes income. 6 figures is the minimum. He needs to be career-driven, preferably self-employed, or holding an impressive position. Bonus points if he owns property, travels often, and drives something European. Looks matter too. Fit, stylish, masculine, but not vain. Tattoos are a plus. Beard, maybe. But it must be clean, groomed. Just the right balance between rugged and refined. Then there's personality. He should be funny, charming, deep. He must know how to communicate. He needs to talk about his childhood trauma, go to therapy, and be in tune with his emotions, but never act needy. He must love dogs, support feminism, be politically correct, and also make her feel like the only woman in the world. Spirituality or philosophy, optional, but it helps if he meditates, reads meaningful books, and drinks oat milk. He should take initiative, plan the dates, pay for everything without hesitation, text consistently, never make her feel insecure, never look at another woman, and always validate her feelings, even when she's wrong. This might sound exaggerated, but scroll through enough dating profiles and TikTok videos, and you'll see this isn't satire. It's real. These aren't wants anymore. They've become expectations, even entitlements. What was once rare is now considered the standard. The top 1% of men are being pursued by women who believe they all deserve him, even if they bring the same things every other woman brings. And when a man falls short on just one item from the checklist, he's quickly labeled not serious, not ready, or simply not enough. There is no room for average anymore. Not in appearance, not in income, not in emotional behavior. The bar keeps rising. And still, somehow, few are ever satisfied. I bring peace, I bring femininity, I bring vibes. That's a common answer when modern women are asked what they bring to a relationship. But is that enough? In today's dating culture, expectations have skyrocketed. Yet when it comes to self-reflection, many avoid the harder questions. The emphasis is on what a man must offer: wealth, looks, emotional stability, social intelligence, but rarely on what the woman contributes beyond her presence. A growing number of women believe that just being who they are is the value. They are told, "You are the prize." And with that mindset, the idea of needing to offer something seems outdated, almost offensive. Many point to their independence as their greatest asset. They have careers, pay their own bills, and don't rely on a man financially. But independence, while admirable, isn't a gift to your partner. It's the baseline of adult life. A man doesn't date a woman because she can pay her rent. He dates her for what she brings emotionally, spiritually, and interpersonally. Others mention ambition or education, highlighting degrees and job titles. But relationships aren't built on resumes. A successful career may be impressive, but it doesn't replace kindness, loyalty, warmth, or the ability to handle conflict with grace. Then there's beauty, still a major part of what many women believe they bring. But beauty fades. And in a time when filters and image curation dominate social media, external attractiveness feels increasingly shallow and replaceable. What's often missing is emotional generosity, the willingness to support, listen, compromise, and grow alongside someone. Qualities like patience, humility, and compassion are no longer emphasized. Instead, many operate from a mindset of entitlement. If I'm here, that's enough. This is not to say women bring nothing, but there's a gap between what is expected and what is contributed. Men feel this imbalance, not always consciously, but deeply. They notice when effort is one-sided, when appreciation is absent, when standards are impossibly high, yet accountability is nowhere to be found. Without mutual value, connection collapses. And when relationships become performance-based on one side and passive on the other, they don't last. Not because of gender roles, but because of the human need for reciprocity. The dating market today is flooded with frustration, disappointment, and confusion. Men feel like they're competing in a rigged game, one where the rules constantly shift, and no matter how much they improve, it's never quite enough. Women, on the other hand, wonder why they can't find a man who meets their standards. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. The dating world has become deeply imbalanced. When expectations are sky high but effort is low, the natural result is disconnection. And it's happening everywhere. Marriage rates are declining, birth rates are falling, dating app usage is rising, but satisfaction is plummeting. People are more connected than ever, and yet more alone. Men are opting out of dating entirely, not because they hate women, but because they no longer see the value in pursuing relationships where they are constantly tested, judged, or dismissed. Many men have internalized a harsh reality. If you're not rich, tall, charming, emotionally intelligent, and socially aware, at the same time, you're invisible. Worse, if you voice frustration, you're labeled bitter, insecure, or misogynistic. There's no room for vulnerability or honesty. On the flip side, many women feel increasingly disillusioned. They chase the top-tier men who match their checklist, only to realize those men have options and little incentive to commit. These women often end up used, ghosted, or ignored, and the cycle repeats: higher standards, more disappointment. The irony is tragic. Both sides want connection, but neither trusts the other to deliver. Women believe men aren't stepping up. Men believe women aren't worth the effort. And in the middle of this silent war lies a generation that's deeply lonely. This isn't about blaming women or men, it's about acknowledging the cost of unrealistic expectations and the decline of mutual accountability. Relationships were never meant to be consumer transactions, where one party demands everything while offering little in return. They were meant to be partnerships, a shared journey, not a checklist competition. Until both sides are willing to give, not just take, this imbalance will only grow. And so will the loneliness that comes with it. The modern dating landscape is broken, not because people no longer want love, but because they no longer understand what love requires. We live in a world that glorifies independence, celebrates self-worth, and encourages never settling. On paper, these ideas sound empowering, but when taken to the extreme, they become isolating. They convince us that we should never bend, never compromise, never meet halfway, that we are perfect as we are, and if someone doesn't accept every inch of us, flaws and all, they're unworthy. But love doesn't work that way. Real connection demands effort, self-awareness, and above all, reciprocity. You can't demand the world from someone if you're unwilling to give anything in return. A relationship isn't a trophy you earn by being attractive. It's a space you build with humility, patience, and daily commitment. It's time to move beyond the idea that the right partner should complete you or check all your boxes. That mindset treats people like products. And worse, it treats relationships like transactions. If I'm pretty, he must be rich. If I'm successful, he must be perfect. We need to return to a place where value isn't just measured by income, height, status, or lifestyle, but by character. Where being a good man is more important than being a wealthy one. Where being a supportive, emotionally mature woman is more important than being just beautiful or independent. This doesn't mean settling for less. It means looking for different things. Things that actually make love last. Kindness, loyalty, shared goals, conflict resolution, growth, teamwork. If women want men to show up as protectors, providers, and partners, they must be willing to show up as builders, nurturers, and teammates, not because it's traditional, but because it's fair. Relationships only thrive when both people give freely, not when one side demands endlessly. The truth is, you can't want everything while offering nothing. That's not empowerment. That's entitlement. It's time for a cultural reset, a new standard where value is mutual, love is earned, and relationships aren't just about what you get, but about what you give. That's the real standard worth reaching for.